Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was just out doing some plastering and so on in a new shed build. So good to see everyone. Sorry I couldn't be here yesterday, but power is power, and unfortunately without it we can't do these sort of things. So we just couldn't get there. Good to see you, Jeannie, Laney, and George. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it. I will put the link, there we go, in the chat. There we go. So people can join. All are welcome. So today, what are we talking about? Sandy, hello. Good to see you. A very wet day. So, there's Jeannie. Hey, Jeannie, how you doing?
Hey, mate. Good.
Good.
Did you get a storm
down south?
Hey.
How are things down south?
Yeah, good.
George.
Hey, George.
Good evening from the UK, where it's still Saturday. Just
well, tomorrow will come. Sorry to give you that.
Because that's what usually happens. Tomorrow usually follows today, doesn't it? So that's
well, yes, but
if it doesn't, that means something has gone wrong with the universe. So let's hope tomorrow does come.
The thing is, if I'm here, the world hasn't ended yet. So.
That's true. Yeah.
Not yet.
No. I just come off a live with Bart. Actually, I wasn't on it, but I was in chat. But I didn't realise he was going live this evening. So it was a bit of a surprise catchment.
Yeah, Bart does a sort of impromptu sort of thing every now and then.
Yeah.
It's always good though. It's quite funny. I noticed he had a couple of rants this morning about Nick Norwitz.
Yeah, I know that he's a. Bart hasn't bought into the Nick Norwitz phenomenon, has he?
No.
Me neither. I don't get it at all.
Well, the whole thing about Nick Norwitz and the whole group there. I mean, everyone makes out this. He's got all these credentials. He's a doc. He's got 2 doctorates and all this sort of other shit. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's great, but he's still just another influencer, And it's really just clickbait.
Yeah.
And he's just. I mean, he just goes where. I mean, like the suddenly now, like he does these big things with Paul Saladino and all these other people, and it's. They will go wherever the clicks go,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So
yeah, well, that's right. Right there.
They're just full of shit.
But I don't know how many subs he's got. Probably heaps. I don't know why people.
Yeah. He's got a big channel.
Follow these people. Like.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Well, I got a question here already.
Right.
Yes, Sandy, thank you very much. Remember to like. And how's the possum? The possum's doing good. He's I made him a box actually. I made him a wooden box so he could have a little nest, and he hasn't used it yet. He's he likes sitting on top of the pot. So okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I saw the short you made about that, and there he was, sat behind the box, wasn't he? He was
yeah.
It's always the same. I remember when we got the cats first. I built a lovely box for them, and lined it with blankets and everything, and never used.
I know they don't. They make their own homes.
They do.
They do what they want, and he probably thinks it's a trap.
He could do.
Cut him off to the vet or something.
Dave, I'm excited. Can I just point out that Meeting Wellness is in the chat tonight, which is Christy, my great friend.
I haven't seen
Christy for ages.
Christy. It's been a while. How are you, Christy? Yeah. Good to see you. Laney says, George has a bad shoulder, and I'm trying to explain a cold shower will help, but he's having none of it. Wimp.
I think I trapped a nerve in the shoulder because I got pain down my left arm, and my fingers are tingling, the pins and needles. So I'm
yeah.
trying
So
to trap it.
what I'd say you've done is that you've so in the rotator cuff, what's happening there is you've probably torn your rotator cuff, and that's pushing against the nerves. That's what happens when you injure. When you raise your arm up like that, do you feel like a sort of
pain? The pain is there,
there. Yeah, right there.
Right there.
It's your rotator cuff.
Great.
It's inflamed. It's inflamed because it's trying to heal from an injury, and that's pushing against your nerves. Yeah, she's right though. Cold will help with the inflammation and bring it down a bit. Maybe relieve the nerve pain a bit. Other than that, a bit of rest and maybe sort of just should only take a few days to recover, really.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's might be something to do with repetitive strain injury, because one of my job on site is to open and close gates repeatedly. So I suspect it's probably something to do with that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's one of those things, isn't it? So hopefully, but
it's not a big deal, but the cold will help with the inflammation, bring down the nerve pain, and other than that, give it a few days and it should rest.
You and Lainey have finally got me, DC. I've been holding off on the cold showers for just over a month now, because it was actually February the 1st when you managed to convince Lainey to start using the cold showers, and I've been holding off ever. I tried a couple, but I'm not as brave as you lot.
I only do it at the end. I can't do it. I don't do it the whole way through. No.
Well, it's a start. It's a start. I mean, you got to ease yourself into these things. You can't just jump in and expect it to all be good.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So Christy says she's taking a YouTube break. She's missed us all, and she's doing great. So hopefully you're back, Christy, because I have missed you. I am subbed to you, but obviously haven't heard much recently, because Christy was one of the very first people who did Carnival Sunday School with us back in June of last year, I think. So it was,
yeah, it's good to see you, Christy. Yeah, it's good to take a break from YouTube every now and then. It's it can be a bit frustrating.
I've got an idea. Chrissy was one of the people who used to appear on Larry Allhand's Carnival Soldier back in the day, when Larry was doing the Wednesday night Hump Day meetup, which is a Carnival Sunday School is a descendant of the Wednesday night Hump Day meetup, because Larry took a break. John then started Wednesday night school to cover for Larry, but then Larry said he wasn't coming back. And John and myself got together and decided to carry it on, but as Sunday school. So that was the history of Carnival Sunday School. It all started with a Wednesday night Hump Day meetup with Larry, and it's still going strong. We got a very special guest tomorrow night. Actually, somebody called Lainey, who's going to be talking about cold showers and therapy, and then. I can confirm that next week we have the wonderful Lauren Tucker, my second oldest friend in the Carnival community, because Larry is my oldest friend, and she lives only 28 miles from me, just up the road here. And then the following week we have Rebecca Johnson, who is Cabana Chronicles, lives over in Spain now on a mountain.
Oh, yeah, Rebecca's good.
Yeah, but she was raised, her childhood home is 4 miles from where I'm sitting now, in the little village called Moorland. So she's I'm claiming another Somerset Carnival from that one. And her father actually lives less than a mile from where I'm sat now. He's a retired doctor. So we've got a very strong representation from a little corner of Somerset coming up over the next couple of weeks.
Good.
Very proud.
Cool. Rebecca's good. She's got a great story too. She had MS, and she's come back from that. It's really good.
Yeah, she's actually fighting to get that MS diagnosis reversed now. Because obviously, once diagnosed with MS, medical insurance, driving is all complicated, and she has recovered to the point now where she is claiming that she never had it. So, obviously, that may or may not be the case, but it's going to be a lot if she can actually be declared non MS sufferer now. It's going to make renewing her driving license easier, getting medical health insurance easier. So good luck to Rebecca on that one. Really, it's yeah, she's got.
Yeah, I don't know you'll ever be able to get that reversed. Like I think once diagnosed, you're diagnosed, right?
Exactly. I mean, she's not expecting to, but she's fighting for it. Having said that,
I think probably better to fight for the fact that she might be. I mean, she's cured. If she's, I mean, well, she's managed anyway. I'm not really sure it's something you can cure, because I mean, who knows? It might come back if you decide to go back to a normal diet. But I think if anything, I think it's probably best to go for something like a cured status or a remission status anyway. In that case, you would still make it easier to get insurance and a driver's license and so on as well.
That's true.
But I don't think they'll ever reverse a diagnosis like that.
I mean, having said that, up until recently, type 2 diabetes was considered to be chronic and progressive and could only be managed. But ever since I took up the first the low carb, then the high fat, then the keto diet, and then I've gone carnivore, I've had 3 very, very good sets of bloods, and the NHS National Health Service has declared me cured, and they no longer expect me to go and get my annual old man's blood test, because they say there's no point, because you are no longer diabetic. So that is it.
Right. So they've just admitted you can cure it. So get onto it.
October 2024. So over a year ago now, nearly 18 months ago, I was declared cured of diabetes, and I have not been called back for another blood test since. So that's the NHS has changed its position, and the type 2 diabetes is now curable. I know there is a lot of controversy over this, and that still some people say it can only be put in remission. It can never be cured. But then again, a broken leg can be cured, but if you go and break it again, then deliberately go and break it again, then it will be broken again, won't it? But I'm not going to go back to eating carbohydrates, so I can't get diabetes again, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
well, not so far anyway. But apparently, fat causes diabetes. So because I've upped my fat, there's a good chance I've got diabetes again, according to certain people out there. Anyway.
Yeah, according to brain dead idiots.
Seriously.
Hey Annabelle, how you doing?
Hey Annabelle.
We've got power back. There's a bit of a pain.
Can we just point out we've also got the carnivore police in town tonight, because Deputy Sheriff CB Carmack from Alabama has joined us. So hello CB, my old fungus eating mate, my old fungus hunting mate. CB is the version. I used to be a real I'm an amateur mycologist, and my CB is my Alabama counterpart over there. We compared photographs back in the autumn when we were out. I don't hunt them to eat anymore, but I go out because I'm still interested in them. I think they're a really wonderful bit of creation. I sent him a few photographs, and he sent me the lion's mane, I think. And we had some good fun swapping photographs of what we have locally to us. So that was good fun.
Cool.
Jojo's there as well. Hello, Jojo.
Hi, Josephine. Good to see you. Yeah, poor Annabella's tired.
I think I saw Barbara as well. I think I did see Barbara say hello earlier on. Barbara from Grandma's Crochet Corner. Yeah, I will be going on with Barbara a long time after this. I've got a kind of I'm kind of doing a bit of a split shift sleep tonight, because I've just had 5 hours to prepare myself for coming on here, and then I've got 3 hours after this, and then I go on with Grandma's Crochet Corner in the morning. So it's in my morning anyway. It's going to be your afternoon, I think, by the time I get on there. It's
there it is. Hello, Bob. All the way at the top there. Yeah, cool. All right, so
buttons.
Speaking of cold shower freaks. So I know it does take a bit of time to ease yourself into this sort of stuff, but once you get used to it, I promise you, it's much more comfortable. Like I sit in the ice now at 0 degrees, and it's very comfortable actually. I mean, you still get that, like for about 10-15 seconds you stand in the water and I'm like, it's just gonna be cold, but then you jump in and just totally relax, you know.
Yeah.
So you can do it. and the ice pack's actually a suggestion there was ice pack on your shoulder would be a good idea too, George, if you don't want to have the cold shower. Yeah. So
actually, I heard Bart saying that you shouldn't do that because the inflammation is the body's way of healing, and if you take that away,
well, it depends on how long this is going for. Like, for example, the inflammation is part of the healing, but you don't want chronic inflammation. You know, like always like constant inflammation, right? So this is why I tell people when it comes to timing of ice baths or cold showers, never do this after training. Do this before training, because the inflammation you get from your training or exercise, whatever that you're doing, is your body's way of healing and rebuilding those, you know, there's processes that you've just torn, like in the muscle tissue and things like that. So that's how you build strength and muscle and is it hypertrophy and so on.
Yeah.
So you always do it beforehand. So you do it. That's why I always tell you to do it the first thing in the morning, because you've had time for your body to recover. It's used the inflammation process to rebuild and structure and everything. Now when it gets into like 10, 12, 24 hours, you get into sort of chronic inflammation. You can reduce all that. Plus, you are alleviating the inflammation around joints before you exercise, so you get less pain while you exercise. Okay, so there's a number of really, really good reasons why we do it before you exercise and not afterwards. Right?
I've been talking to a friend of mine who's interested in the carnivore world. She's very interested in the carnivore community more than becoming carnivore, because we're a bit like a soap opera. If we tell our stories to the carnivore community, the people outside of it, it is it's almost like Neighbours or a Home and Away. It's a bit of a sort of soap opera about what goes on. But I was trying to explain the difference between chronic and acute inflammation the other day. Obviously, acute inflammation is the body's way of saying, ouch, don't do that. Whereas chronic inflammation is the build-up of the inflammation over years and years and years, which is what causes us the problems. So, I mean, if you cut your finger, you're going to get redness and swelling, as the body says. You know, that's the body's way of saying rest while we fight it. But you know, so it's saying rest. The acute inflammation is the body's way of saying rest, whereas chronic inflammation is the body's way of saying I am deep in the shot here, in trouble up the creek without a paddle, basically. So that's leave me alone. Stop putting those carbs down your mouth. Oddly enough, when I stopped putting carbs in my mouth, my chronic inflammation went away. And we were having a discussion the other night, can't remember with whom, probably Dr. Kiltz. Yeah, it was Dr. Kiltz. I was saying about Dr. Kiltz believes that obesity is not really a problem. But the thing is that when I was morbidly obese, a lot of my problem was chronic inflammation. And so I demonstrated the fact that now, since the chronic inflammation has gone, I can actually remove my ring and slide it on and off, no problems. And I have actually lost 2 shoe sizes, so that was not fat, I don't think. That was just inflamed tissue. I don't think I had fat feet. I think I had inflamed feet. So
I think there are issues that are caused by the excess weight, the obesity.
Right?
But it's kind of more downstream. I think like Kiltz is he's got the idea. I think he's kind of right on this, is that it's more like a response, like a safety mechanism, because for example, if people were eating like the highly processed food and lean meats and so on, like I was, even though I was very lean and fit, if I had been obese, I may not have gotten cancer, because all of that crap would have been stored in fat cells rather than being, developing into cancer cells, sort of thing. So I mean, you can't say that would have happened. But it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting idea. Maybe it's right. I don't know, but it, you know, that's why, you know. But again, saying that, like many people with obesity do get cancer as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I kind of get what Dr. Kills is saying, because obesity back in the day when we had seasonal eating was a very, very good idea, because that's the reason, you know, we would stuff ourselves on fruits and we would get fat for the winter, and come March or come the spring, we'd be pretty thin again, because there was lean pickings, slim pickings over the winter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we were probably back in the day very similar to what bears do nowadays, because they stuff themselves with sugar in the autumn, knowing that they're going to have to hibernate, gestate, migrate, as Dr. Kilt says.
Well, every other animal
very skinny
does that. Yeah, most other animals do that, except for you know, hypercarnivores. But you know, like even the possum I'm feeding right now, he's fattening himself up for the winter, right? For the, like, so I give him a heap of fruit and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
The weight is meant to fluctuate. You know, it's not meant to be. You know, you're not meant to be lean all year round. That's not healthy.
I mean, the difference now is that we have all year round readily available nutrition. Therefore, we can maintain ourselves lean all year round, as I try to do. But what Dr. Skills says is absolutely right. Ancestrally, we had to fatten up. We had to get as fat as we possibly could in the autumn. And then because we would use those fat stools over winter when there was no sugar.
So that's the key too, is that we wouldn't keep that fat. We never kept that fat. And that's the problem is today is like I mean, apart from the fact that 99% of our, you know, the readily available food is all toxic manufactured garbage, we are not meant to be storing that fat all year round, year on year. That's the big difference.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Yes, well, I mean, that's the thing that my father pointed out to me when I was a child. He said that the reason why people were getting not only fatter, but also taller and bigger skeletons now is we do have all year round nutrition in the supermarkets. I think, DC, you know, I've been reading the book Three Men in the Boat by Jerome K. Jerome, which was written in 1869. It was, yes, 1869. And he writes in the preface, the introduction, that his friend George was weighed 12 stone, which is 168 pounds, and he was actually saying what a large gentleman George was at 168 pounds. And I've got back to my 18-year-old weight now, and I'm 175 pounds, so I'm bigger than the character George in the Victorian book.
Yeah, I mean, like, that comes down to a lot of different things too. Like, humans as a species, though, were much larger 15,000 years ago when we were hunter-gatherer. You know,
before the first agricultural
revolution, and it only took like 2 or 3 generations for us to, like, our entire skeletal structure to shrink. Right, so I think we've been in a state of devolvement really since then, where we no longer have the bone structure that we used to have, and that includes the brain cavity. And when we went to the agricultural revolution, started eating grains and so on, not only do we have a smaller brain cavity which will restrict the growth of the brain, but we no longer have the fats in the diet for our brain to grow on anyway. So we've gone through this, I think from there, we've gone through this very long stage of devolvement. And then you start getting, I mean, it's all, you know, the history since then has just been absolutely chaos. But from there on, it's kind of fluctuated, you know, and there's a lot of, obviously there's genetics involved as well. Like certain people from different parts of the world or different tribes, for example, even some tribes will have, you know, there's pygmy tribes, you know, these little people through Africa, and even in Australia before the Aborigines came down from India, there were pygmy tribes that lived here. But now, I mean, and again at the same time, because they were pretty much just foragers, you know, in rainforests and whatnot, the little pygmies.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a number of things involved. Like, yeah, maybe a couple of 100 years ago, people were a bit smaller than we are because they didn't have access to meat. You know, especially through like in the UK, and that you had like the potato famine in Ireland and so on, right? Where I mean, all the gentry, of course, they all had access to meat, but you know, all the peasants were never allowed to hunt on the king's land and so on, or the lord's land. They were never allowed to hunt for anything other bigger than a rabbit, for example. So that's why we get rabbit starvation. So there's a number of things that, you know, and when that's the problem when people start referencing saying, oh, but we're bigger and stronger now. No bullshit, we are.
Yeah.
That's just,
we are compared to Victorian time, is what I'm saying.
Well, compared to that era there, it's the average peasant through the Victoria period, yes, maybe.
Yeah.
But previous to that.
Yeah. My mother used to say something quite interesting, because we used to talk about, obviously, you folks down under in the Southern Hemisphere are far better at the game of rugby than we are. And mother used to say that was all about meat, basically. She said, the reason they're all so big down there is that they eat so much steak. And she was talking specifically about New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia. And you know, I remember there was a game of rugby in London many years ago, maybe 20 years ago now, when the South Africans absolutely thrashed England. And myself and Laney were up there. I think it was the year 2011, maybe. And we got into a lift at a tube station with a group of 4 South African gentlemen, and they were huge. I mean, I was 5'10" at the time, and they were at least, all of them the smallest was at least 6 inches taller than me. And I said to Laney, I jokingly said, you know, it's no wonder we always get beaten by us Africans. But I said, well, I'm a rugby player, but look at these guys, and they laughed and they said, You do realise we are all scrum halves, you know, because the scrum half is the smallest guy on the pitch. You do realise. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe my mum was right. Maybe it was the fact that.
No, she absolutely was. Yeah.
Meat,
well, maybe, but how many of these guys are on substances? You know.
I mean, there is
they
that.
get tested. They get tested, though, don't they? I don't know.
Yeah, true. But I mean, what the point I'm making, Jeannie, is that these guys weren't. Well, obviously they were rugby players, but they weren't the internationals. These guys were supporters. You know, they were all massive blokes, but they were just members of the crowd. So I doubt if they would have been on steroids, to be honest with you, because they. You know,
yeah, but I mean, even if like when a professional athlete's on steroids, they've already finished their growth period as well. Like, I mean, their muscles will get bigger, but their height won't change. That just shows like eating a lot of meat throughout their developing years, you know, as a teenager and so on. So
exactly.
Well, actually, there's something to that, because look at Rick when he started eating, he shot up. You know, so.
Yeah, that's right. He went from the shortest one in the class to one of the tallest. So
yeah. People in the
makes
world.
a big difference. The developing years are far more important than later on, and certainly far more important for development, obviously, than most people realize. Unfortunately, and you can't get that back once you finish growing. You can't get that back later on. You know.
Yeah. So, just another point about skeletal size. My theory, and I don't know whether this is true or not, is that we have the problem nowadays with the wisdom teeth, because your wisdom teeth come through, and then there's no room in the jaw for them anymore. My theory is that wisdom teeth are a legacy of when we had much wider jaws and there was much more room, and that basically the wisdom teeth we're still genetically programmed to produce them. But the jaw is smaller, so there's no room for them. Now, I was not lucky, because I had a lot of teeth removed when I was a child, because I was a sugar addict, and I had rotten teeth as a child. So I had some molars removed, so I never had to have my wisdom teeth removed, because by removing those molars, there was space for them to come through. But I know a lot of people who've had good teeth as a child have had to have their wisdom teeth removed. So I'm guessing that is a legacy of having bigger jaws.
There's actually I mean, that's only more a recent thing though as well, like the last 150 years or so. and that that will actually also come down to the way we breathe. Through our developing years, when if we are mouth breathing, for example, it changes the structure of our jaw development. And some people get a really long face. That's because through their developing years, they've been mouth breathing the whole time.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it also narrows the jawline, and will also make it more difficult for your teeth, your jaw development. So generally speaking, if you're a mouth breather, that will affect how wide the palate is and how narrow it is, and where your teeth fit, and so on and so on. I never had a problem with my teeth until the chemo, and then I had lost 3 teeth because of that. But my wisdom teeth were fine, So it just depends on. There's a number of things. I mean, yes, obviously nutrition is a big part, but also breathing. Breathing plays a very big role in your jaw development.
Yeah, one of the effects of Lainey's ongoing treatment for the cancer is bone infusion, and one of the really rare side effects is ONJ, osteonecrosis of the jaw, which means that your jaw dies and you lose your teeth. Really rare, but guess who's got it? And Lainey has, I think, lost a few. I think 8 teeth so far. She'll probably tell. She's listening in next door, so she'll probably let me know. Let me know in chat, Lainey, if I'm right. But oddly enough, since going carnivore, they're happy. The maxillofacial unit are quite happy. It's not deteriorating any further. Maybe that's a coincidence.
Well, hopefully it'll help to strengthen the bones, because I know my bones have gotten a lot stronger too since only eating meat. Because like I've said before, that chemotherapy can permanently inhibit your blood cell production, because it interferes with your bone marrow and so on. So it weakens your bones very quickly.
Lainey's just confirmed it's 9 teeth and parts of her jaw. The process for losing her jaw is called debriding. So it's scraping away the dead. I was going to say tissue, but it's not. It's bone, isn't it? So it's scraping away the dead bone. Well, and just a quick shout out to Julie, who's been in the chat for a few minutes now, but we haven't actually acknowledged her as yet. So hi, Julie, known as Gemma in the chat. So nice to see you, Julie.
Hello.
Good to see you.
I'll catch up with some of these comments. George, even if we eat fungus or not, it's still good to get educated for survival purposes, right?
Yes. Education is always good, no matter what it is. Any education is good, as long as it's correct, of course. Unless you're a doctor, when you get miseducated. But there we go. It's knowing the difference, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Cold showers are invigorating, but only in summer.
Yes. In summer, it's all right.
How do you be, Fellini, Annabella, Sandy, hey, Christy. Let me see. Okay, I got a heap of lamb on Friday. Nice. I'm thinking about cooking some roast lamb today. Oh, that sounds good. Sunday's good for roast lamb.
Every day is good for roast lamb.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll tell you, it's even better. It's even better for raw lamb steaks as well, because that's one of my favorites. Is a raw.
Lamb's great. Lamb's great. My possum's doing great, Annabella. He's a very, very funny little guy, but he's quite calm now. I can pat him quite easily. We had lamb today, having duck today. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, well, we're having lamb yesterday. We had lamb yesterday your time, and we're having duck today your time. But it's now. Yeah, sorry, it is today now, because we are 8 minutes past midnight here in the UK. So welcome to Sunday, everybody from the UK. Apart from the fact,
welcome to Sunday.
From the UK in the chat.
Yeah. $16 a kilo is not bad for lamb.
Yeah, Lainey has just asked me to tell you that she had a cold, as in a head cold, for a couple of days, and didn't have a cold shower on those days because she thought it wouldn't be good for her, and she felt like utter crap. So she, but she's back to cold showering now. So she obviously her mitochondria have got used to it, and as we say, once you discover the health hack, you can't go back because your body objects to it very, very strongly if you do. which is why I can't
no, even if you have a cold coming on or flu or anything like that, I guarantee you the best way to get rid of it is get into the cold and to do breath work. I don't know if you guys tried the one breath I did the other day. That's a really good technique to get you to help you get rid of a cold or flu. I especially the 90 shot down the alternate nostril breathing, because it clears out your sinuses and you produce a lot of nitric oxide. Yep, that's good, because the nitric oxide that you're producing is a really good antioxidant for one. Plus, you're building CO2 tolerance. These fight colds. They are. This is the best way. I've noticed that even if I have skipped, say, or I've got a lot going on, been traveling or something like that, and I feel a cold or flu coming on, I do that, and right as rain, like an hour later, I feel clear-headed and everything feels good, and cold is gone. So keep doing it. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah. Good old antioxidants, ADC. Everybody knows that plants are the best way of getting antioxidants. Also, we're told by the
But I mean, it's everything. If you think about what's happening through that process, through ice baths and breathing, you are stimulating more blood cells, including white cells, which boost your immune system. You're stimulating D3 hormones. You're stimulating your mitochondria. So, of course, this is going to be the best way to beat a flu or cold.
Yeah. The lady saying Nicole went really quickly. The power of the carnivore diet. Can I just say, DC, thank you very much for giving me this very strange new bride that I've got, because I've got I have a new woman in my life called Lainey.
You don't recognize it
because she's no longer the cancer victim, and she's now the cancer survivor and influencer or helper.
Excellent.
Guide. But she's not even the old lady. She's not even the old lady from pre-cancer. She's now much more loving, much more enthusiastic. She's taken on the kilts. She was announcing to the world today when we were out socializing. She says that love, and that's the most important thing, which is pure kilts. And then she was advocating cold showers and breathing, which is pure DC. So yeah, a combination of kilts and DC. And I've got a very strange, lovely lady in my life. So thank you, guys.
Well, I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it. Yeah. Barb was saying she lost the shoe size as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of it, apart from weight, but a lot of it is inflammation too of tissue and so on. So, yeah, I lost shoe size as well, Annabella. Very good.
And Carl Day, my friend over here in the UK, the Primal Lifestyle, he's lost 2 shoe sizes as well. So it's a common phenomenon in our world to lose the inflammation and to lose shoe sizes.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
amazing.
Hey, Erin. In a minute about her video that she made featuring Lainey, actually.
I mean, my feet are small enough as it is. I wouldn't really want to lose any shoe sizes.
Yeah, it's pixie feet. Yeah, little elephant feet, Jeannie. Yeah, we found out how tall you're 5'4", is that right, Jeannie?
Yeah.
Was it you who was 5'4"? Yeah, I thought so. The same height as Lainey.
Oh, okay.
Good point, DC. I've thought about diabetes in the same context. I was only 250 pounds at my biggest, but seemed to have way more health issues than people who were 500 pounds. Yeah, so I think it's like a more like a safety response to sort of store things in those fat cells and toxins and so. And when you, for example, like seed oils, when you eat seed oils, apart from the fact that they are fats or oils, so they are fat cell storable, you don't feel those effects so immediately because you store them in your fat cells. So it's kind of like like a safety pouch, really. Like, this is where I'll store all the toxins because I don't want that going through the body. And to get rid of, like, it takes years to get rid of seed oils from and every bit of seed oil that you eat, it takes years to get sort of lose in the system. But I think that has a lot to do with just how much adipose tissue you have. So like the bigger you are, the more fat tissue you have, the longer it's going to take for you to get rid of those seed oils. That's just my theory anyway.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, with life the way it is, we can't just hibernate. We've got jobs and all the rest of it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's hard getting around with all that extra weight.
That's right.
You know, there's obviously downsides to it.
Well, that's the thing too. Like this is where obesity can be a problem with inflammation, for example. Like if you go to like I was talking about with exercise before, you want to ice bath before and lower the inflammation around your joints to take away the pain and that sort of stuff. But the inflammation afterwards is part of your recovery. But if you're carrying a lot of extra weight, that's like going to the gym every day. Right? That extra weight that you are carrying, you're not meant to be carrying that weight. So that in itself is going to cause inflammation response to like muscle tear, tissue tear, bone structure, and everything else, because you're not meant to be carrying that weight all day, every day. All right. So there are going to be that's where it gets into the chronic inflammation sort of levels, you know.
Yeah, we've known each other for a couple of years now, DC. I remember the very first interview I gave. One of my problems that I've got is that my knees just haven't come back. They come back to a certain extent now, and I can now comfortably hill walk with. I can comfortably hill walk. I do several hill walks here with my mate Ziggy, the carnival camper from. She lives 17 miles away from me, and we do some philosophy walks, and she films them. But I can't run. I still have this awkward gait, GAIT, because of my knees. But the thing is, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, I think, oh no, I can't run anymore. I used to be a runner, but hey, I can walk. So it's that gratitude thing, isn't it? You know, so I can't run anymore, but I can still go and enjoy hill walking with a rucksack on my back. So it's a question of hey, be grateful for the fact you've still got legs, because a lot of veterans like myself haven't got legs because they got blown off in places like Afghanistan and Iraq.
Well, there's just a lot of people too. There's a lot of people who can't walk, and I mean, I was stuck in bed for years too. I couldn't walk at all either. And I used to love running. I used to do triathlon and stuff. So that was torment, just looking at the ceiling all bloody day.
Yeah, and again, when it comes to not being able to walk, we got to look at the example of Bill in Alaska, and our very own grandma as well, because she went from being virtually bedbound and housebound. She's out walking every day now whenever she can, when the snow in Ohio allows her to. So yeah, it's
but I believe that if you, I mean,
freedom, isn't it?
I really believe that if you do the work, your body is resilient enough to recover. Maybe not 100%, not like you may not be able to run again later on, who knows, but at least you can get to a point where you are mobile,
Actually, yeah, Lainey has just met, I've got a funny story about it. It's about me climbing over gates when I'm on walks, because I find it very easy to lift my leg over the okay, I find it very easy to raise my leg above the gate so I can climb down. When the one walk I did with Ziggy, I had to climb a gate, and she actually had to grab my ankle and lift my leg above the bar of the gate so I could climb down. And her comment was, "Don't worry, George, that's not the first bloke I've helped get his leg over." So so yeah, Ziggy has that sort of sense of humor, believe me. So yeah. It was it's true. It's very true. When I'm out on a walk and I come to a gate, I find it very easy to get my leg over. Very, very hard to get my leg over. So it's that's a problem.
That's all right.
Yeah,
she's fitting well with Grandma's channel, George. She should come on board.
I perhaps I'll tell that because I'll be going on with Grandma later. So maybe I will tell the story, and I'm sure that Terry will pick up on the fact that George can't get his leg over. So there we go.
Let's catch up with some of these comments. I've watched the cooking video, which was nothing but sugar. Yeah, it's putting sugar on a banana. Oh my god! Plus tons of other fruit. People think fruit is people still think that's healthy. It's nothing but sugar with anti-nutrients. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems with fruit, especially today's fruit. People think like there's those store-bought bananas, like these are natural foods. These are man-made, genetically modified foods. Not to mention the chemicals they spray on them anyway. And I mean, have you ever seen a natural banana? No one would want to eat a natural banana. It's full of like large seeds and tiny little fruit, and it's quite bitter. So, it's crazy.
Yeah. About the year 2000, I was on a team over in Europe with a guy who was on the very edge of the British triathlete international team. And he always had his racing banana with him. He always, he was eating bananas all the time. Because he bought into the sugar and the carbohydrate theory, as most people do.
Carbo load and so on.
I used to work with a guy who'd eat tons of fruit before going for a run, and I thought he was doing a good thing back then.
But when it comes to triathlon, one thing I have to say is that my great friend Duncan Smart is an international British triathlete now, and he is the author of Carnivore the Manual. So he has actually he is one triathlete who has to ignore his coaches, because his coach he has to lie about his nutrition when he's actually training, because he will go out fasted to train, and they will check that everybody's had their carb rich breakfast, so they've got lots of energy, and of course he just wipes the floor of them. But hey,
that's right. I mean, there were a number of studies done on in Europe and Germany and high in the Alps, and that these Institute of Sports, a number of years ago now, like there's a number of papers I've read on this, that endurance sports actually causes your brain to age. But the thing is, these athletes, all of these athletes were on a high carb diet. So I think that the damage, like the aging of their brain, didn't actually come from the endurance sport. I think it actually more so came from the carbohydrates they were eating.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just before we go on, Erin is now in chat, Booby Goats. So I'd just like to pay a little tribute to her, because Erin produced a video the other day, one of her AI videos, which is fabulous, a Butter Woman video, which featured Lainey, and it was her take on our life here in England, and she captured it so very well. One of them was our habit of saying "Good morning, Mr. Magpie" for luck. If you see a lone magpie, you have to say "Good morning, Mr. Magpie," otherwise you'll have bad luck all day. She picks up on the mobile meat markets that we have that go around the country to the market, selling from the back of a truck. And she had a horse-drawn one from the old times, and the good old butcher was obviously a Cockney, saying, "Come on, me champion ladies, we buy some sausages." So all the accents were English, and she did Stonehenge as well. She built Stonehenge out of butter, so we had a view of Stonehenge. But the one which applies to you, DC, is she had Butterwoman Laney and Butterwoman's mate all piling into the English Channel. The cold therapy, and she called, as Lady breathed out, so she had the frosty breath. So it was we don't half love a cold dip in winter. It's smashing. So yeah, well done there, and you caught Laney perfectly. You managed to get DC's cold therapy in there. You managed to get the butchers, the mobile butchers, and you managed to perfectly capture the jolly old English accent, don't you know, old girl? So yeah, a big shout out to Erin, and the AI was brilliant as well. So Erin, we love what you do, and it's we look forward to you coming back, because when Erin goes live at 8 a.m. I think, or 7 a.m. her time, 1 p.m. my time, we do a lot of studying. We study history, we study a topic for the day, and basically a lot of what she was putting into that AI video was what she studied about England. So Erin, just a massive, absolute respect to you, admire you like crazy, and yeah, it's great to call you friends.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Louise is here now as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, Louise, hello. I have an ex-girlfriend who has been vegan for a long time now, posted again after posting the same for years of having severe headache for 2 straight weeks. I typed out a very long message. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they got migraine trouble like that, there's a number of things going on. Obviously, diet be one big cause.
How can you live with that?
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. But you know, there are things that can help. I mean, like green light therapy is very good for pain relief, especially for headaches. You know, of course, eating meat is going to be a good one because I mean, I think it's
obviously that's the most obvious, but she's
but
vegan.
breath work is very important too. I think that, you know, when you get headaches, especially, it's usually because your CO2 levels are low, and you're not getting the vasodilation or the oxygen not being delivered to the actual cells in your brain. So there's a number of reasons for that. But yeah, obviously diet being the big one.
Yeah.
Yes, but I love DC. I know breathing techniques through. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Excellent. I'm glad you loved the. Has anyone tried the one breath I put up video? No.
No, I haven't got around to watch that. Is that box breathing we're talking about?
Yeah.
I will get around to watching that, but I just haven't had time yet. So
I use box breathing because I think it's one of the easiest ways to get down to the 1 breath per minute. There's a number of different techniques you can do this with, but I think this is more of a down regulating way to get down to 1 breath per minute, and it's very relaxing. So
I can't imagine that 1 breath in a minute. I just can't imagine.
Well, I mean, you'd be surprised how easy, how quickly you will get down to that. Actually, it's not it's not that difficult, really.
Yeah, I just not there's a lamb discussion going on in chat. When we get to it, DC, stick around, everybody. I've got a little poem I'm going to read to you, which I wrote back along about little lambs. So there we go. We'll get to it in a minute.
Okay. I had 2 wisdom teeth removed last year. It was brutal.
I had wisdom tooth nightmares. They were it was horrendous. Couldn't wait to get rid of them.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have trouble with the wisdom teeth, but I never really did.
And a stupid old useless dentist didn't help. Oh my god!
No, that doesn't help. Unfortunately, I mean, honestly, like doctors and dentists here, they're like butchers. Honestly.
This guy, I walked out of he tried to x-rayed it, but the x-ray didn't show the full picture, and he tried to, just pull it out without surgery or whatever, and nearly yanked my head off, and I walked out of there in agony and had to go to someone else. Oh man.
No, they're shocking. They're shocking here. I breathed through my nostrils for years. That's good, Annabella. That's very good. Let's see. I asked my vegan friend if she would at least be willing to add back what vegans believe to be less animal cruelty, animal foods like butter, and eggs, but one step further, fatty fish and pescatarian more. Yeah. It's vegans have this a fanatical belief about food. There was a video that was suggested to me recently about this vegan doctor or something. It was an absolute cult. Like they're talking about what they envision for the future. The whole world only eating vegetables and fruit, and it was just weird tree hugging sort of garbage. But it's just
Here's a question. See if anybody's been paying attention to my history lessons. I've got a question for the audience. See if anybody's been paying attention to my history lessons over the course of the last few months. What year did the what year, what month did the word vegan first appear in the English language? Anybody know? Anybody been paying attention in class?
I do remember you saying it, but I can't remember.
There we go, Jeannie. At least you remember me saying it, which is
brain fog. I must have brain fog. I can't remember.
Yeah, DC has got it to the decade. Can anybody get it to the year? And a bonus point if you can get it to the month, and a further bonus point if you can get it to the actual county of England in which the word vegan first appeared. Anybody? Anybody?
I think it was about 1944. Late.
DC, you're a bloody know-it-all, aren't you? Yeah, you're absolutely right. November 1944, I believe, or 1944 anyway. It was actually the Vegan Society started in Leicestershire because it was an offshoot in England, Leicestershire for our American friends. And it was actually an offshoot of the Vegetarian Society because they wanted to be different from the Vegetarian Society and they wanted to be more extreme. They wanted to be more of a cult. No, they didn't call themselves that, of course. So what did they do? They took the word vegetarian, they took the first three letters, VEG, and they took the last two, AN, and they became vegan. So, 1944. So what's that? Some 80 odd years, a blinking of an eye in the scheme of things. So yes, veganism is a recent cult. It's a fad diet. It's not here to stay. It will go away again because people are getting ill. But so far from being a long-established, long-traditional, jolly good thing, it's a cult. It's a fad. 1944, the county of Leicestershire in England. And probably the reason for that is that basically we were just coming through an economic crisis caused by the Second World War, and there was no money around. Therefore, it was easier to grow vegetables than what it was to get hold of meat. Therefore, veganism was born, and it's dying, hopefully. Am I right?
Yeah,
I don't
hopefully
know.
It's dying.
I don't know. But
no, it's definitely a cult.
Well, Australia, I believe that in Australia, apparently, you guys are leading the way in veganism and wokeism and basically the lack of free society. I think you've actually even overtaken us. To be honest, I can tell.
Yeah. Well,
which is probably why you're so crap at rugby these days compared to what you were 10 years ago.
I don't care about
rugby.
That's
right. Yeah, rugby here is going downhill. It's very dramatically.
Yeah, even England beat you on a regular basis nowadays. So yeah, you should be jolly well ashamed of yourselves, chaps down there.
I don't care about footy at all. Well, my vegan best friend, I had the audacity to say to her a little while ago that meat is actually healthy, and I got this freaking tirade. Oh, the WHO says that it's carcinogenic, and you're just arrogant. Oh, it's like I killed her pet dog or something. And I thought, okay, whatever. Stay depressed. Whatever, mate. I cannot deal.
I'm the same. I can't. You can't argue with stupid. Simple as that. Like some years ago, I was part of in the Facebook, Facebook even deleted my accounts now, so I don't even have my cancer group there anymore.
Oh, no, they picked on you. That's
I don't know. They're starting small, and working their way up. But anyway, I had a conversation with someone in a group that is for follicular lymphoma people. And I was trying to help someone, and we even had a chat, like a video chat, and then they get completely different treatment to what we get now. They use especially for lymphoma, they use immunotherapy, which is quite good now. But in terms of, success rate is still not very high, but the side effects are not quite so dramatic. But this person had the nerve, they keep telling you, but meat causes cancer and all this other stuff. And they kept their resources. They always list the UN, and I'm like, you mean the same UN that just tried to force inject the entire population, the same UN that wants to control our health system, the same UN that believes in climate change and that CO2 is actually bad for you and bad for the environment, the same UN that traffics children and so on. Like, give me a freaking break. Seriously.
Yeah, anyone, like, seriously, anyone who trusts any of these corporations, it's like, you haven't been paying attention, have you? Like,
No, that's right.
Come on.
No, that's right. Yeah. Seriously, it's just people live with they live with their head in the sand, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Jim. I really appreciate. I'm just glad that I can show people these techniques. I mean, I need to show people a lot more, but I'm just glad that I can actually reach some people and help them with their health anyway. So yeah.
Well, you obviously are. So good on you. It's awesome.
Guys, remember what I said about Erin being a fantastic researcher? Sorry. Can I just say that? Remember what I said about Erin being a fantastic researcher? We learned from her. She's gone and done it again. I've researched vegan. She's researched vegetarian, and it was apparently comes from the 1830s, around 1839, and the first vegetarian society was September the 29th, 1847. So there we go. Thanks, Erin. You've come through for us once again with your research skills. You you and I have a lot in common.
That's really early, isn't it?
Yeah, but it took another century for veganism to appear.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when you look at it in terms of our evolution or our history, say, you know, the last 5 million years plus, like 150 to 200 years is not even a blink of an eye.
No, it's not even that.
No.
That is not enough time for our bodies to adapt to a plant-based diet, for one. And again, like over the course of from the agricultural revolution to now, we have only, I mean, obviously these things have fluctuated, and it will certainly depend on where you were at the time and so on. But Europeans, especially, you know, they've done nothing but de-evolve, really. You have a look at the civilizations like Rome and even Egypt at one stage, and, you know, some of the others that were quite advanced, but they, you know, unfortunately, the vast majority of people were the plebs that never had access to meat and never had access to a healthy diet. You know, so it's just not the world that we should be living in anyway. You know.
Yeah, if you look at the contemporary art of ancient Egypt, you will see there's an awful lot of obesity, so the men with the, I can't remember what I know there's a technical term, but basically man boobs. There's an awful lot of man boobs in there, and awful lot of pot bellies, because obviously the Egyptians relied heavily on a grain agriculture with bread.
That's right. Yeah.
In fact, I can tell you that I speak Arabic, and the proper term for bread in Arabic is khubz, whereas the Egyptians call it aish, and aish just means life, because it's they regard the bread, the Arab Egyptians, not the ancient Egyptians, but obviously it's come down through the centuries on account of the fact that obviously the agriculture of the Nile hasn't changed. So the Egyptians, the modern Egyptians call bread, they call it life, and so it's it's just a little aside.
And as far as the environment goes too, like, you know, where the pyramids are in the towns like Cairo and things, that was surrounded by forest until they cleared it for grain, for agriculture, and now it's nothing but sand. You know, so if the people are worried about what ruminant animals do to the environment, they build, the difference is they build the environments for trees to grow. They build the topsoil and so on, and we, you know, start agricultural and just destroy it. So it's a very damaging way to eat, you know, not only for our health but for our environment, which also damages our health. So vegetarian and veganism is probably the worst kind of diet you could possibly put onto a population.
Yeah.
The cold went really quickly. The power of carnivore diet. Oh, that's good. Yeah, excellent, lady. Yeah, she's a bit far behind. Cynthia, hello. Happy birthday, baby goats, Aaron.
Oh shit! No, it wasn't a birthday. Birthday back along. I think it was just was it? I don't know what happened there, but there we go.
Okay. I was here earlier, but my husband needed me for something. Hello, Cynthia. It's good to see you. Aaron's birthday. Aaron's birthday?
No,
Happy
no,
birthday,
it wasn't. That's
Aaron.
the thing. No, there's some confusion in chat. Just keep scrolling, Dave.
Okay, keep scrolling then. Okay. Yeah. Lenny, I remember the stuff for that video. There we go. Aaron's 5'4" as well.
There you go.
It's my daughter Loretta's 18th birthday.
That's where the confusion came from. It.
Oh, okay. Okay, very much. Okay. Oh, wow. I didn't realize Aaron's children were that age, actually. So.
Yeah, we only see the young.
You wouldn't believe it looking at Aaron, would you? You wouldn't believe that she could have.
Oh God, no!
Because she barely looks like an adult herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't divulge.
Yeah, I've already told the leg over story, so we don't need to go back to that one again.
All right. I know I forget her. It's been 11 months. Hope she's okay. Okay. Aaron last week. Aaron, thanks, Josephine. Julie is going into graphic design. Very talented young lady. Oh, that's good. Excellent. Yeah, today's fruit. Yikes. Yeah, today's fruit is just.
Yeah.
Strawberries are huge and not normal. No, that's right. I mean, actually, strawberries are one of the worst things. Actually, one of the terrible 12s, they call them. Like berries, especially, hold on to all of the chemicals that are sprayed on them to, enhance their growth for one and keep the bugs away. I mean, we're the only species that poison our food to keep all the other animals away and then eat it ourselves. What kind of stupidity is that? I
know. It beggars belief, really, doesn't it?
It boggles the mind. It really does. It boggles the mind.
Berries obviously don't have skins that you peel off. So
no, that's right.
That's why it's all.
Yeah, but
I don't know what the huge
strawberries are one of the worst. Blueberries are one of the most toxic things that you can eat these days.
And carnivores seem to go for blueberries. And they're not that fantastic.
Yeah, Mitch over in Florida. It triggers him. It triggers him quite badly. Blueberries do.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I don't know why they seem to think that blueberries are the choice of to go to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, you get nothing from them at all.
Hmm.
Yeah, you do. You get a dopamine hit. That's what you get from blueberries, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, you get toxin.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I don't think but anyway.
No, they're not. There's nothing to write home about there. I mean, they're full of. I mean, apart from, everyone says obviously the antioxidant thing, but that's a complete lie. The only thing you're doing is damaging your body. So
yeah.
I'm not an athlete, even though I feel like one. I cannot eat carbs. Yeah. I think you're an absolute athlete, but Aaron, like 10 kids, Jesus.
Yeah, 10 kids.
Yeah. But watching it chase the turkeys when they get out of their pen, that's she's very athletic.
Yeah. I've just taken my lamb out of the fridge. I'll put it on to cook, and now it's time. So geez, everyone's going to Annabella's place for roast lamb tonight.
Love lamb, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of at Mitch's live. Oh, is he on today?
Yeah, he's on live at the moment, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. I got an A+ from George. Yeah.
Absolutely, Darren. You always do. You are a top researcher.
I ate the guy from Darwin who grew bananas.
Darwin. It's going to be Darwin, isn't it?
Okay, from Darwin.
Yeah.
They were yummo. Even the ones had in the backyard did not taste.
Just for info, everybody, including Dave, by the sounds of it, Darwin is in the Northern Territories. I think it was the only place attacked by Japan during the Second World War. Am I right in thinking that?
No,
that was it. No, well, I'm wrong. Am I? Okay.
No, there was. Okay, so Darwin went through a bombing just like Pearl Harbor, pretty much. In Darwin, yeah. But actually, Japanese submarines sunk 2 ships in Sydney Harbor. They actually got down as far as Sydney Harbor.
Oh, that is a long way down.
Yeah. But they were little one-man sort of suicide submariners, and later on, like some years later, one of those little submarines was actually found off the north coast of Queensland here. But they actually sunk a ship in Sydney Harbor while it was at the docks. Yeah.
Your history's better than mine. I didn't know that. Fancy being like on a suicide mission. Like,
well, they were. When it comes, the problem through the early 20th century of Japan was that they were under the influence of the socialists. They were under control. They were controlled by socialists, or communists, either way you want to look at it. And when it comes to like the suicide, like the kamikaze pilots and the suicide. Suicide's been like a big part of the Japanese culture from the samurai. Where if they lost a war or battle or anything like that, to save face, they would suicide. But they were brainwashed as well. They were heavily brainwashed.
Was that known as harakiri, the ritual suicide?
Harakiri, harakiri, yeah. But they were heavily brainwashed too throughout those socialist years as well. Like before kamikaze pilots would actually take off, they were pretty much in a secluded like training area for months, months of brainwashing to get them to suicide into whatever they were doing. So,
and the thing is, if they refused, they'd probably be killed anyway.
Oh, they would be killed anyway. They would have died anyway. They would have shot them. That's what communists do. If you don't agree with them, if you don't go along with them, they're going to shoot you anyway. So they really had no choice,
Well, not only, but it happens in the West because actually, a lot in the First World War. A lot of guys were shot at dawn for cowardice when they had shell shock, and it is the job of the military police that basically anybody who is in the advance and then who checking it out and tries to run back to their lines, it is the job of the military police to shoot them. So it's not just the communist, Dave. It is in fact.
No, that's right.
It is in fact in the West as well.
Yeah, people are just as bad. Unfortunately, it get to the point like even throughout like the Second War, right? And you had these like the French underground and the Italian resistance and so on. If anyone, there are just horrible stories when it comes to these wars. Like they actually, they kill their own family that if they didn't agree with them, sort of thing. So people can be bloody brutal, and unfortunately, there's a lot of bloody evil out there. Unfortunately, that's.
Edward, Eddie Goki, the mini Bart, he had a video and he was saying that he sort of thinks we're on the way to extinction. And sometimes I think, well, that's not such a bad thing,
Yeah, I don't
know. I think the human race is the worst thing to be ever put on the earth, to be honest.
Well, no, certain elements, yes. Certain elements of it, yeah.
There's a lot. Like the evil people at the top, they have a lot of support from a lot of. They can't do it themselves. You know what I mean? No,
of course not. That's why there's so much propaganda out there. This is all brainwashing. I mean, most of these people are just useful idiots, and that's the problem, you know. And they have no idea. It's like there's the same like with what's gone. Actually, I probably shouldn't go too far into that. We talk all day about that stuff, but
so, that's okay. Sorry.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to trigger me into some revolutionary talk in a minute, and we don't want that really. So it's, otherwise I'll get on my soapbox.
I'm not on YouTube anyway.
Exactly.
But, but yeah, I agree. You know, revolution is what we need.
I should point out that I want to talk about if ever I talk about the evolution with an R in front, it's not about violence or anything. It's a cultural one which I advocate, not a violent one.
No, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kamak is saying, so you can start with an easier, smaller scale version of box breathing. Yes, of course. Well, this is if you watch the video I did, we start at four count of in, hold, out, hold, 4 seconds, then 5 seconds, then 7 seconds, then 9 seconds, then 11 seconds, 13, and then finally 15 seconds. So you can do it as far as you can get to, and we do 2 breaths, 2 minutes of just 1 breath per minute. So it's a good way to scale up. All right. So and you can do this, you can practice that at home as well. You can just, if you start at 4 seconds and then you feel comfortable with that, move up to 5 seconds and then 6 seconds and then 7 seconds and so on. So it's a very good way to scale up.
Yep.
Okay. Posted a photo of lamb going to cook tonight.
No, I'm getting hungry now.
Beauty.
I want some lamb.
She's making my mouth water now. I think she's just teasing
I hope the lamb in question was actually on a platter. I hope it wasn't. Don't hope it didn't have its wool on and everything else. It was. It had been butchered. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I have all my wisdom teeth, and anytime the dentist sees that they are shocked because they take them out of most people here. Yeah. Well, 99% of the population do not breathe properly. It's one reason. And they don't eat properly. So, yeah.
Oh, Christy could be saying she's got a big mouth.
A teacher with a big mouth? Really?
Oh, yeah, that's true. How unusual.
Yeah, no wonder Christy and John Laspina, the carnival teacher, Alpha, they're great friends. They've done a few light-hearted songs together, actually. Yeah, so you get 2 teachers together, and you get some interesting stuff.
Yeah, but I used to shop dentists too, and I went to have a cleaning, and they sort of had all 4 of my wisdom teeth as well. So, but they're just, it's not a common thing here, unfortunately. It should be. I mean, they're there for a reason,
Yeah.
And I think they just normalized. Because of our society, the way it is, and the way we keep deteriorating, they've just normalized the removal of the wisdom teeth.
Yeah.
So, George, is this a quiz?
Yes, it is. It was. It's. I want to know how much you guys have been paying attention in class over the years. Erin. Exactly. Erin gives classes. I give classes. So hopefully, some of the information is rubbing off. In fact, Dave and myself will be doing a class in the not too distant future on the forgotten heroes of the last 2 centuries. So watch out for that one. I think we're going to do it as a recorded, because otherwise we'll just the chat will just we'll have to focus on the chat. So we will be doing it. Dave, that reminds me, send me your Calendly so we can put that one in at some stage.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll do that today, mate. Let me see. Hey, George, I am Dr. James Henry Salisbury's first edition book, inscribed and signed by himself. Oh, wow, from 1885.
Yeah. Wow,
that's awesome. Cool. I'm a history buff myself.
This is this was perfect timing, Dave, for CB, because I know CB quite well. He's my fungus friend, and he's also my history friend. I was wondering whether when we do our history lesson, whether we could get CB on the panel as well, because to represent the United States.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so CB, watch out. I've got CB on WhatsApp, so just watch the space, CB, and we'll try and work. I mean, obviously, we're going to be working in 3 different time zones, which is going to be interesting. But we will try and find one which is common to. I'll put my what's the word? Chronological. There's a word for something to do with clock making, but I'll put that part of my brain to how we can get the best
chronological order.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know. I can't remember what but we will basically try and find the most convenient time for all 3 continents. So yeah, watch the space.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like lining up our time schedules. Yeah.
Exactly. I can't remember. It's horological. So horrible. There is a word, isn't there?
I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Probably.
Probably a word for it, but yeah. Schedule.
Well, that's it. Agenda.
Hey, Jonathan, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Jonathan.
I'll go back to sleep. Just saying hi. Yeah, fair enough. Good to see you, Jonathan. Let me see. Try and catch up to. Let me see. Notice Shodana breathing. Yeah, it's very good. Breathwork is fantastic for calming the nerves. Yes, it is very much so. There's a number of reasons for that, because when you breathe primarily like through your left nostril, you actually activate your vagus nerve. The other point is that because you're obviously stimulating both sides of the nostrils, you're also stimulating the nitric oxide production. You're also cooling the brain. Okay, so when you which is one of the functions of breathing through the nose is to cool the brain. And as your brain cools down, it relaxes. You get more relaxed. You feel more calm and in tune. When otherwise you get like if you're mouth breathing all the time, one of the side effects is that your brain becomes inflamed and overheated, so you can't really think clearly. That's another cause of brain fog and so on. So yeah, Nadi Showdown is a very good method. So Don's forever. So true, breathing calms and nerves. Yes, it is very much.
Don't worry, folks. Sooner or later, we're going to get to my poem time. It's going to be for Julie in a minute when we get to the little lamb comment. Not fun.
I grew giant strawberries before I got chickens. Totally organic, no sprays. Then the chickens came and eggs are better. Yeah. Yeah, much better.
Talking of giant strawberries, did anybody remember a Woody Allen film from the 1970s called The Sleeper?
No, I can't stand Woody Allen. He's a pedophile.
But he did make a valid point, because he went to sleep in the 1970s, woke up in the future, and it was like a prediction of what it would be, and the strawberries were the size of I don't know, sofas, I suppose, or no, big easy. That was his prediction. That wasn't a bad prediction or anything. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it was called The Sleeper from 1973. So it was quite a funny film in many ways.
After the earthquake in Japan back in 2011, which is actually they've got an anniversary in just 3 days, because of the nuclear radiation from the power plant down in Fukushima, which is just a little bit below us. Every time later in the year, when we got food supplies again, we started getting these apples, and every time they have these what they call Fuji apples. They're really large apples. All right. So we used to make jokes that the reason they're so big is because they were grown in Fukushima.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuji is Mount Fuji, isn't it? Yeah. So that rings a bell.
Yeah. Good. Yes. Fresh eggs much better. Yeah. I've got some chickens that smell. They're great, actually. Chickens are actually a lot more fun than I thought they would be, honestly. Like when I feed them, or when I go in and see them, like there's 2 of them, 2 red ones. They love to just jump. They jump up on my hands, like, and just.
Yeah, I've seen that on your video. Yeah.
It's really funny, actually. I was never a fruit eater. Would only drink it as a smoothie, made with fruit yogurt. But I had to pinch my nose to get it down. Little did I. Yeah. Well, it's good if you're that opposed to it. It'd be easy to give up. I always loved fruit when I was growing up. Actually, I loved it. I love the sweetness. I loved mangoes, and like here in Australia, stone fruit used to be really good.
But, it's crap now. Stone fruit, it's been crap for ages. Yeah. It's
now. Actually, I've noticed because my parents still buy it. It's they have like that crap that Gates developed, and they spray over it to make it look like it's fresh all the time. But you open it up, and it's this dry, sort of rubber. It's like rubber. The fruit literally looks like rubber.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Well, I'm very pleased to say that Louise has seen the light. She is very much one of my strongest carnival ally here in the UK when it comes to organising. A couple of stories about Louise. We organised a meet-up before Christmas, and she brought the short rib, South African short rib, which is absolutely fabulous. And she is so enthusiastic about getting to a new butcher that she got caught for speeding whilst trying to get to a new butcher. And she told Grandma Barbara about it, which led to the great song "Ribeye Run," which was all about getting caught for speeding because you've heard that ribeyes are on sale in the next town. You're hurrying to get there, you forget the speed limit, and you get pulled by the traffic cops. So Louise.
These days, not too far away from.
Yeah, Louise
not too far away. Like a meat run's going to be like running moonshine soon enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, Carnival Farm Mum. Good to see you.
Yeah, hello, Cass. Nice to see
you. He's back in bed sleeping with. You're going to have another explanation. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think I can explain that one. We haven't seen that. That is Jackson, who is a wonderful young man who I met last year, and apparently he's got a case of the V&D tonight, which I presume is vomiting and diarrhea, not the other one. He's far too young. He's far too young for that one. So I think that's what's going on.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we are. Yeah, a child with V&D. That's not good.
I'm assuming it's Jackson. I'm not sure because Louise does have two girls as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to. It's horrible stuff, actually. Yes. Okay, Aaron. I'm just trying to catch up with some of these.
Yeah.
Comments. Everyone's talking to themselves, so that's all right.
I think we might have passed a conversation about lamb where never eaten it. She's not sure about it because of the Mary had.
Hey, Terry. George,
you dropped out there, man. Yeah.
I disappeared then for a minute, but I'm back. Here I am. So it's
just read your poem.
It's actually called Mary Had a Little Lamb, believe it or not. So Mary had a little lamb. Her father shot it dead, and now it goes to school each day between two bits of bread. But Mary is a clever girl. She only ate the meat. She likes to listen to Professor Bart K and knows that fat and carbs compete. So next time you're in Tesco supermarket and fancy a quick fix, stay away from the meal deals because fat and sugar don't mix. For those of us with diabetes who don't want it anymore, throw away the metformin and go full on carnivore. So there we go. That's my little.
Did you write that? Did you write that, George?
Yeah, well, obviously it's based on Mary Had a Little Lamb, but yeah, I adapted Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I managed to get Professor Bart in there. So I hope I get a bonus point for getting Bart in there.
So
I'm sure Bart will appreciate that.
Yeah, I know. Well, Bart and me have we've got a long distance relationship. We're kind of dancing around each other because he did invite me on, then I emailed him. He never replied to me, and then I went in his chat the other day, and I didn't realize he knew who I was. He said, George, nice to see you, mate. He said, you're a rare visitor to these shores. So Bart does know who I am at least. So there we go. So I managed to get Bart in the poem anyway.
It's cool.
I can send you his email if you want to connect.
No, it's all right because I'm a bit wary of Bart. So I mean, the thing is that he and I kind of clones actually when you look at it. So I would think that I'd be a bit wary of going on Bart's channel because I like to talk, and so does Bart, and Bart likes to I don't know. I think we would kind of be a bit of an explosive mix, me and Bart. So it's probably best that we dance around each other for the foreseeable future anyway.
You'd be all right. Bart's a good guy. Actually, he lived in London in England for quite a while, so you probably have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, true. Actually, I did manage to pin Bart down on a question in Dr. Kiltz's chat once about the New Zealand All Blacks, the great rugby team of 2011, and I actually managed to get a straight answer out of them. How many of them were carnivore? And there were 3 who were full on carnivore. One of which I know was Sonny Boy Williams. And I imagine the rest were very close. And again, has anybody else noticed recently that the All Blacks aren't quite the awesome force that they once were? And I wonder if that's the fact that Bart's influence is kind of fading away now. And it is the South Africans who come to pretty much to the fore in world rugby now, presumably because they eat half the wildlife in Africa now, don't they, Louise? There we go.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there's not a safe giraffe or a safe wildebeest in South Africa, so I think that's probably the reason why.
Let me see. I just did a ribeye run the other day. Yeah, on sale for $9 a pound. It's about $18 a kilo. That's really cheap. That's really cheap.
Can I just point out that those of you who don't know Barbara's story, she was housebound recently, so it's great to hear that she's actually doing ribeye runs and rushing from one grocery store. It's incredible. The transformation of Barbara is just amazing.
It is.
I admire her so much.
It's awesome, hey? Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have had great transformations by
not least myself. I always have to get that advertising, those advertising pictures in at least once during a show, and that's it for tonight, folks. I'll put it safely back underneath my desk now.
No, but it's so great, isn't it?
Hey, John,
and anyone who denies it, it's like pull your head out of your,
Anybody who denies it is basically talking. I use the English word bollocks. So there we go. I'm not sure. I don't think that's an American word. Do you guys use that one over in Australia? Have you taken that one?
It's not common. I use it because I love it. But
yeah, exactly. Well, believe me, it is a very common way of saying nonsense. Utter bollocks.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah,
I just love the word. So I use it.
It obviously has a noun meaning as well, but we won't go into that. But as an adjective, it is perfectly acceptable. If something is utter bollocks, it's nonsense. So there we go.
Yeah.
And apparently, when Kerry was over here, when the dear Alex Cannon was still alive, Alex taught him that word, and it's now Kerry's favourite English slang word. So another little So basically, if ever you meet Kerry, he loves that word for utter nonsense. So you can actually safely say. You can actually safely say to him that, somebody else was. I heard somebody the other day who was talking bollocks, and Kerry would understand that.
Yeah, that's all good. Very good. Good to see you, John. Thanks for joining us. So we've got quite a few people in the chat today. It's been good.
Yeah,
good chat. Yes.
Louise. I just challenged Louise about the South Africans, why they're so good at rugby, because they eat anything to do with meat, and she just confirmed it for us very nicely.
Anything from a snail to a warthog, kudu, crocodile, kangaroo, ostrich, and more. Wow.
Yeah, kudu. I think kudu's a big antelope, if I remember rightly. It's one of the bigger antelopes.
I guess warthog would be like a pig, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much, just like a wild pig. Yeah, maybe.
This one's.
I would imagine anyway.
I'm not sure how to deal with this one from Julie.
And Ginny, do you have a favorite beetle?
Is she? Yeah, I was going to say it's a play on words here, isn't it? Because obviously mine has to be George Harrison because I'm a George myself. But do I have a favorite beetle? Yes, a stag beetle. I love the stag beetles with a great big.
If she's actually talking insect.
I'm not sure. I think it's a deliberate play on words. So when it comes to the band George Harrison, when it comes to the entomology, when it comes to entomology, insects, then it will be a stag beetle for me.
I don't have a favorite beetle, like as in bug.
No,
I don't either. Actually, my favorite ones are usually dead. Actually,
yeah, that's right.
But I'm not big on yeah.
Saying
talking about the group, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a ladybug a beetle? I love
yeah,
ladybirds.
I guess so.
Yeah, it is. It's a beetle. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Can we just tell the story about Paul McCartney, who is not my favourite Beatle, on account of the fact that he was married to Linda McCartney, who is a totally lunatic vegan. They bought up large parts of the English National Park Exmoor to provide a safe haven for the red deer there. And of course, with no deer management, they all started inbreeding. They all started. They weren't allowed to be killed at the end of their lives, so they starved to death. Incredible animal cruelty. Linda McCartney died back along. There was a joke going around basically when Paul went into his children and said, "The bad news is your mum's dead. The good news is we're all going to McDonald's." So anyway, that was she was a rampant vegan, was Linda McCartney, and she died young.
Yeah, typical vegan.
Brain example of them not knowing duck shit about nutrition, the environment.
Absolutely, yeah.
They are the most ignorant people when it comes to the environment, especially in animal welfare. They are completely ignorant.
Yeah.
And I'm very sad. My best friend is one of them. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we cannot celebrate Linda McCartney's early death because it's no celebration at all. But it suddenly occurs to me that she was a very strict vegan, very aggressive vegan. Can anybody remember what she actually died of? I can't off the top of my head. If anybody can research that.
Cancer, wasn't it? I think.
I'm not sure, but if anybody knows that, or if anybody can research that, Erin, if you're still in there, you're very good at that sort of thing. If anybody can let us know what Linda McCartney died an untimely death of.
Cancer of some kind.
Probably.
Sure. Gemma, the Beatle, the band, I think it was B.
That was breast cancer.
Was it B-double-E? Oh, no, you're right. B-A-A. Yeah. You're right. Anyway, my favourite was still Paul.
Annabella's got ovarian cancer for Linda McCartney.
I used to like the Beatles when I was younger, actually, but I still I don't mind the music, but as people, I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they were art students, typical spoiled like liberals that were completely ignorant and trying to sprout the word of communism and all sorts of other crap. So as people, I think they were complete asswipes, but
as most.
I do like the music, but I'm thankful they were only together for 4 years.
Actually, later stuff, like one of their albums, I forget which one, I found it quite boring. The one with an octopus under the sea, that one, whichever one that was. I thought it was crap. I thought it was boring crap. So I think they were actually really overrated.
Can I just make a contrast here between the Beatles and The Who? The lead singer of Who was Roger Daltrey. Roger Daltrey went on to own his own trout fishery. So he became very much a countryman, very much one of us. He actually owned his trout fishing was one of his favorite things. So there's a complete contrast between the Beatles and the Who. The Beatles were not my favorite people when it comes to the lifestyle, but good old Roger Daltrey.
There's a lot of evil stuff coming out about like the music industry and the Hollywood and stuff like that too.
Oh God,
and I believe the Beatles were very much part of all that. But there was, I just think that I think a lot of musicians are very much overrated. It's not just the Beatles. I think that, people like what's his name? Was like the Rat Pack in America, they were very much overrated. Not that they weren't bad.
Sammy Davis Jr., Dean, whatever his name was.
Martin,
who was the boss? Frank Sinatra, was it?
Frank Sinatra, that's it. I don't mind the music. I don't mind it. It's quite good, some of it. but completely overrated. Like the fact that people lose their bloody minds when because they're simply famous and rich and so on, and they come to town.
Yeah.
That sort of, that boggles my mind. And again, it just shows like just how much of the population are useful idiots, you know.
You realize you got me panicking now, DC, because you just said about that, and that is actually Rick's favorite era, as in Rick Charge Mopart's favorite era. So I'm just checking for him in chat, but no, don't worry, he's not there. So you haven't triggered him.
I mean, I love the movies and, you know, the music from that, but the actual people, like, I'm lucky. My favorite musicians don't seem to fall like Kate Bush for Enya.
She's good,
right?
She's good. Yeah,
don't seem to fall. I haven't seen anything really bad about them. You know what I mean? So, So cross fingers.
No, that's right.
I mean, Kate Bush's songs are fantastic, aren't they? Running Up That Hill, Make a Deal with God, Wuthering Heights, The Man with the Child in His Eyes. There's one which she did in collaboration with Peter Gabriel. Can't remember the name of it now. Don't give up. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, fabulous. She's a bit of a rock goddess. Is Kate Bush?
She certainly is.
Yeah, that's right.
Annabella, that era of craziness brought out a total disdain.
Well, certainly, people certainly saw another side of these people, didn't they? So,
and David, you would know. Sorry to interrupt. Magda Szubanski, she's been battling cancer, and look, it's horrible. Don't get me wrong, but once again, she was someone I really loved and admired. But she did her little ditty around the jab, and it's like, no, can't stand you now. Fuck.
Yeah, that's right. And it wasn't just about that either. She's an absolute moron, honestly. I used to like her as an actor, as a comedian. She was very funny back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s. She was quite good, but as a person, honestly, outside of that, she was just another useful idiot, and just
Louise showed themselves for what they really are, didn't they? You know.
Yeah. Louise is making an interesting point, which we're coming up to in a minute. She says, I have no idol. Can't they gods of people never have, never will? Totally agree, Louise, except in the fact that bizarrely, in the not gods of people, you can make heroes of people. And I say quite bizarrely, within the carnival community, I have heroes, one of whom is very definitely on this screen tonight, DC. And actually Louise is one of my own personal heroes as well for her story and what she does. But the carnival community is where you can actually have your heroes as friends, because, obviously Kerry's a hero of mine. He's also a friend of mine. Kilt's a hero of mine. He's a friend of mine. Barbara's very much a friend of mine. She's also a hero for what she's done. So, the carnival community is where your heroes are also your friends. So, you're absolutely right. They're not idols. They're not gods, but they are heroes. No, I mean, we're all heroes for what we've achieved over the years. You're all my heroes, and you're also all my friends, because all of us have had to come through adversity or of one or another. Although actually those who haven't come through adversity maybe are the bravest of all, because they've come to us not having anything wrong with them. So it's actually an even braver step to make, to come to the crazy world of carnival when you are actually metabolically healthy. So everybody, we can all have heroes, and many of my heroes are here tonight with me. So I'm very proud of that.
I think is to remember too that people are just people, and we're all just as fallible as anyone else. And we've grown up to like sort of follow or idolize these false idols like musicians and actors and so on. But we do the same thing for doctors and anyone wearing a white coat and has a stethoscope, and we believe them beyond reproach. Like they're the most honest sort of. One
of my biggest sources of shame. I've got two sources of shame from that era in 2020. The first one being the fact that I eventually caved in and received the intervention in the arm. The first one being that on Thursday night here in the UK, we were all expected to go onto our doorsteps and rattle pots and pans and clap for these people that we just been
Oh,
describing
in
the white coats. And I am ashamed of myself for doing that now. Having learned what I've learned since that time, so two sources of shame. One, I had the intervention. The other one being that ridiculous celebration of the medical.
I never did that because I knew. I mean, I know it was a shame from the start. From the start, not one person died at home. Not one person died in the street. We had a reaction of a pandemic, but we never actually had the actual pandemic. When you got doctors and nurses doing musical numbers in the bloody ward, obviously they're not that bloody busy, are they? All right.
Yeah, I know.
They act like these people were heroes. These people were complicit. You know, it was an absolute disgrace of the people that went along with this is shameful. The police, the emergency services, all of these people, they were absolutely shameful. And anyone who protested on the wrong side of politics here in Australia were beaten and bruised by the police, while others were given a free pass. Right? It's an absolute disgrace what's been going on.
Even this copper who was, I think he even pushed it to the ground, this 12-year-old girl for not wearing a mask. And someone came up and spoke to him, and he said, well, it's my job. I have to do it. I've got a family to support.
That's not your job.
Who is going to know if you don't manhandle this girl, you dickhead?
That's right.
Do not give me that excuse.
The biggest cowards in the world always fall back on, I was just doing my job.
It was, absolutely. I was only following the orders. Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's pathetic.
And the whole thing is that none of that had to happen. Like they said, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? It wouldn't have lasted that long if everyone just said no. Easy. They cannot force the whole population, you know. It's just unbelievably how stupid people can be.
I think if they ever try that on again, I don't think the world population will accept it. I really don't. I think they will get told to get lost.
Some would still.
Well, I mean, every time this sort of thing happens, it happens in an election year. There's a midterms coming up in America, so they're going to try something this year. Before the next midterms in America, there's definitely going to try something.
Well, Dave, have you heard that in July we're going to get this siren thing on our phone, similar to what the UK that happened? My phone's going off that day, but I'm thinking, what the hell is that for? You know, so
that's right. Whenever there's some sort of they always tell everything is always about, you got to protect the children, or you got to protect this, or you got to protect, it's got to be about
your safety.
You know, we're doing it for this, but they're always taking away your freedoms, you know, every time. You know, now look at the social media ban for under 16s in Australia, basically so that they know exactly who is using it, how old they are, and this is going around the world. So it's nothing to do with protecting children, especially when, like here in Australia, you've got, if they're worried about protecting children from social media, so they block them from under 16s, yet they put them on puberty blockers from 6 years old and start giving them operations because they want to try being a different sex and stuff like this. That's not protecting children. You know, it's absolutely disgraceful.
I don't know what it is, guys, but it seems that the UK and Australia are in the middle of a political race to the very bottom of the abyss, aren't we? Because I think from what you guys tell me, I mean, the fact is, here in the UK, when the elections come, you can actually protest by not going to vote. You can just refuse to vote. I understand Dave tells me that that's actually an offence in Australia, that you are obliged to turn up at the voting booth and at least make a mark on a piece of paper or write something. Very rude.
$20 fine for not
exactly voting. So if anything, I think Australia is actually leading the UK in heading towards what's the word? A tyranny.
Tyranny. Oh, absolutely. We have thousands of people, like political activists, that are in jail right now. For different views. Different views different to the thing, to the government.
Because every time that Stephen Thomas introduces him, he says greetings from state-controlled Britain, but by the sound of it, Australia is even worse.
I don't know about what, but probably on the par, I suppose.
Certainly, be on par with it. Yeah.
Grandma, well, I don't even.
I was saying that there are people that she knew that died of COVID, but the only people that I know.
Believe it was a thing. I don't believe it was an actual separate thing. Sorry, Grandma.
It was the only period where there was no flu victims.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
zero flu. Like every for example, that's right. Every single year in America, about 50,000 people plus die from the flu. And then all of a sudden, zero flu, but now they're all dying with COVID. Not of COVID, but with COVID. The only people I genuinely know who died of or during that period, they died because of the injections, not because the only people that got COVID actually got the injection first. I had a shattered immune system, and I never got sick. I never got COVID at all. So,
I don't think I can actually say that I knew personally anybody who succumbed to that disease during that time. Although, having said that, Lainey was working in a care home, and of course it ripped through that care home. Lainey, if you're watching, was it 34 people that you lost during that period? She'll probably tell me in a minute when she sees it.
Doesn't the flu do that?
Yeah,
the flu does exactly that.
But of course,
it's exactly like there was the number of I probably shouldn't mention the name, but a number of the same thing happened back in the 80s when like AIDS came out, right? When AIDS happened and so on. It's an autoimmune deficiency or an autoimmune disease, right? And it shuts down their immune system. And this is what these injections were doing too. So they were allowing, and of course, the flu rips through nursing homes. Anywhere that there is a population that has an already compromised immune system.
Exactly.
Any kind of infection, could be a cold or flu, is very deadly. And this is something I had to be aware of when I was going through chemo and for years afterwards, because my immune system was shot. I went neutropenic. My neutrophils died. Like I was not producing neutrophils at any kind of real level. So any kind of cold or flu, I had to live in a bubble for years because a flu would have killed me.
Yeah.
And that it is very quickly, very easy to do.
Yeah. Anyway, here's a bit of chronology for you. Okay, so in 2020, you know what happened. Lainey was working in a care home, which meant that she had to have the intervention. So she had the intervention in 2020. Early 2022, she started noticeably losing weight very rapidly. She halved in size. September 2022, she was diagnosed with full-blown breast cancer. Okay?
Exactly.
I am not saying anything. There is no correlation there. There is no causation there. All I'm saying is that in 2020, we know what happened. We know what the intervention, and 2 years later, bingo. Okay, and I think Jeannie's about to tell me that something similar.
Yeah, I had two workmates who got breast cancer. I think I would say just months after getting the thing. So.
Yeah, Lainey's just confirmed it was in fact 34, and she has put the comment on there. There were 34 people. So there we go. Yeah, but that's I'm saying I'm not drawing any causation, any correlation. I'm just giving you a chronological time order. 2 years in between.
The thing that was there was so much of this was so obvious too. This was an IQ test that many people failed, right? The mask, about 10, I think it was about 2009 or 2010 in Australia, the government itself actually sued a corporation because this corporation made masks, they made face masks, but the government sued them because on their labels it said that it prevents colds and flus, which it doesn't.
No.
So the government itself back then sued these corporations because they actually fined them big money, like it's like $100 million because because it's false advertising. But then in 2020, they expected us to all wear a mask because it's supposed to stop the spread. It's total horseshit.
But isn't it ironic, the government suing someone? Like,
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? You just can't make this shit up. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. I'm not sure which point you're talking about there, Jim, but yeah.
I'll say all of them, Dave.
I had the protest at work to get to the point because I had a Democrat as a sheriff at the time. Yeah, that doesn't work very well. Bloody leftards. Bloody commies, man. I can't stand them. Like I said, you just can't argue with that level of stupid. You know?
No. Well, I say nowadays I refrain from getting involved in politics. I refuse to cast my vote on account of the fact that every vote cast, no matter who you vote for, you are voting for the establishment. You are endorsing, validating the establishment. You are succumbing to the system. So therefore,
you've got a newcomer now. Like I certainly wouldn't vote for Nigel Farage, but you've got a newcomer now.
Rupert Lowe, Rupert Lowe.
Rupert Lowe, Restore Britain.
But I am that anti-establishment, Dave, that I cannot vote at all because by voting, I am endorsing the system, which is the establishment.
But unfortunate part though is, George, that you have to overcome the system, you have to actually use the system.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can do it.
I still can't bring myself to vote though, because it is voting for. My father used to say, it doesn't matter who you vote for, the government always gets in. And he's kind of right, because there are two parts of government to the British government. You have Westminster, where the politicians are, and you have Whitehall, where the civil servants are. And it's Whitehall that runs this country because they don't get voted in or out. It doesn't matter which government turns up. They direct government policy. They tell the government what. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you vote for. The civil service remains there. So the government would always get in. So I don't know.
And they wouldn't let honest people in anyway. So
no, exactly.
But Barbara,
I just want to say, like, Barbara, I believe COVID, this was real, but it was injected. It wasn't carried in the air. It certainly wasn't carried through, you know, a lack of mask wearing, and we certainly weren't. It's like if you go back to the Spanish flu, for example, the Spanish flu killed over 60 million people. The Spanish flu killed over 60 million people in Europe, and it started in a military base in America with a couple of soldiers who were injected with something and were then flown over to Europe, to Spain, to the military bases there. And that's where it spread from. Yeah. Okay. This is not a new thing. Right? This is not, it's the same playbook each time.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just that, and these things are, I mean, and you think about places like where Gates visits, like he goes to Africa and India and all these places. He experimented on hundreds of thousands, like millions of people actually, and then previous to all this, and the deformities, birth deformities, deaths, and everything that followed, absolutely shocking. It is absolutely mind blowing. In fact, India there are people in India who are trying to prosecute him because of it. So these are things that are happening.
Does anybody here old enough, apart from me, to remember when thalidomide was a really good idea for pregnant mums?
Thalidomide. Oh yeah, well, I mean, like Remember like the old advertising, like your local doctor recommends Camel or recommends these cigarettes, and like it's all the same.
Yeah, exactly.
All the same.
I'm old enough to have gone to school with a thalidomide child who only had half, only half his arms. He used to make jokes about it. He said, "Oh, the strong arm of the law," or something. He said, "Oh, half of it anyway." So he was quite sanguine. But yeah, it was
Zika virus. Zika virus is another one.
Yeah,
if you have a look at like swine flu, Zika virus, and all these other things that came out, have a look at the correlation. I'm not saying causation, but there's a definite correlation that each of these things, these outbreaks happened in an American election year.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, so Barb's saying none of them had the thing. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
I mean, the thing
like
is,
I said too, like the flu is just as deadly as anything like that too. So
Yeah, it's interesting because apparently there wasn't an outbreak of flu that year, was there? I can't remember anybody talking about influenza that year.
No, well, the Australian records, like the official government records in Australia, it's actually zero flu, zero.
Okay, yeah.
But everything else is COVID. So, and it all comes down to the fact, I mean, they could die of anything really. And with those PCR tests, which PCR test is not designed to pick up any kind of flu or anything like, it picks up dead RNA. That's what it does. And even Fauci himself on video said that if you run any more than 24 cycles, you're just picking up dead RNA, which means that you could have had a flu 10 years ago and it will test positive.
Yeah.
Right? And we're in Australia is testing at 45 cycles. Right? Like people in South America, government, like presidents in South America, I forget which one it was, but like they tested 3 pieces of fruit and every one of them tested positive for COVID.
Yeah. Right? And the inventor of that test died suddenly.
Kerry Mullis. Yeah, Kerry Mullis died just before the outbreak. But even he stated before, like several months beforehand, the PCR test does not and is not designed to pick up flu or whatever. It just picks up dead RNA cells. So of course you're going to get a positive.
Hence why he went away suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a number of the whole thing is just bullshit. Hey, Jemmett, be right back. Absolutely remember the preliminary bursts. Yeah, horrible. Yeah, I mean they think that these people think that they have the right to cull the herd, to manipulate, to even manipulate our genes. Like even recently, last year actually there was a little let me see. Well, basically, there's nothing more to say. It's like just a little vegan shithead who works, scientist who works for the UN and WEF was out saying that we're going to develop a tick that will make people allergic to eating beef. So they are trying to genetically alter us to fit their narrative, right? I mean, what right do these people think they have to do this? They are despicable. They are the moral high ground. That's right. They are the lowest form of life on the planet. Yeah. They are the lowest form of life on the planet.
But there's people supporting them,
doing
these things for them.
Right. They can't do it themselves.
They don't do the work or whatever. They don't.
That's why they rely on the useful idiots, and that's why they've taken control of education, because the young people are very easy to influence.
It reminds me of a different time, a different place. The word eugenics, and was there a guy called Mengele in the Second World War, I think, who was basically trying to genetically modify everybody for that reason.
Yeah,
and so they are adopting the same sort of policies as we have. Yeah, so Grandma was saying that she knows for a fact that none of the inmates got the shot, many caught it and died, and this is the same phenomenon that happened to Lainey and her basically, obviously, in the crowded environment.
Well, that's the thing too. Like part of the injections, right, was the shedding. Yeah, but did you hear about the spike protein shedding?
Doesn't mean nothing to me.
Okay, this was actually developed in the Griffith University here in Australia in Canberra. Actually, I actually have a video of them talking about the reason why it does this, because they developed this originally to be a population control for rats in Australia, because we had or mice, because we have the like plagues of mice here in Australia. So you can't go around and inject each mice. So what happens is that you inject one that goes back to its home, and that sheds the spike protein to the rest of the colony around them, and that is what actually gives them the same. It gives them the same thing, and it kills the rest of the rats. So that was actually developed here in Griffith University in Australia. And it's the same thing I mean, like there are family members now that I can't stay around because I get headaches.
Really?
If I'm around them, yeah, I get headaches.
Wow.
Really quite strong headaches.
I've wondered if that's an actual thing, and I guess it is.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's called shedding.
You're ringing a huge bell. You're ringing a huge bell with me on the subjects of myxomatosis, because I think that both the UK and Australia, we use myxomatosis as a weapon against our out of control rabbit population, did we not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Same thing. You just infect one rabbit, release it into the wild. Next thing you know, that's right. It spreads throughout the whole lot of them. Yeah. But here we call it shedding. And I mean, they developed that for rats or for the mice plagues originally, but it's in the same shots that we were talking about the last few years, and it's a real thing. It's actually I mean, it's been proven. There's a number of studies since then that have shown that it does shed, and it does spread around the population around them. So it's not. I mean, if you just got like a staff of a certain facility, they all got a shot or got whatever, and they walk into that facility, obviously that's going to shed into the rest of the population, the same as the rest of us. So I never got the shot, but I'm pretty much I can't stand being around these people because they give me headaches, not because of what they're talking about, but just for being around them, close to them. But this is actually, I mean, I've spoken to a number of people about this too, that all get similar symptoms, or some of them have much worse symptoms. So. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I resisted for many months, and when I went to get my first shot, the doctor said to me, "Oh, this must be your second." I said, "No, it's my first." And he basically said, "Well, why have you left it so long?" He was really quite aggressive with me, and I didn't. I gave it back to him in both barrels because I had the anthrax vaccine in the first. Oh, crikey! Bye. Dave's getting his camera changing his battery, I think. I had the anthrax vaccine in the first Gulf War, which crippled me for 24 hours. So I'm very, very vaccine suspicious anyway. And I can't remember why I gave in. It's 6 years ago. I can't remember why I folded eventually.
Well, the thing is,
very ashamed.
I resigned when they started pushing it, but I was lucky enough to have the savings. If people needed their jobs, and people will say, "Oh, you weren't forced." Coercion to me is force, even if it's not physical.
No, that's right. Yeah. Well, here it was you either get it or you don't work. That's forcing people to do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no!
They locked us down.
No, Dave, you don't understand. You've got the choice not to get it, to lose your job and become homeless. You didn't have a choice. Right.
But we weren't even allowed to leave the house unless we got the jab. So same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you couldn't go in the shops or anywhere.
Yeah, we live in the West, which is the land of the free. We live in a good democratic free society. Yeah. What a load of utter bollocks! There's that word again.
Cynthia, we all have those.
Well, there's a number of those in my family too. They all give me headaches, but for different reasons.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. It's the other way around in my family because I'm the only carnivore and I'm the carnivore bore. It's me that gives them headaches and earaches. So actually, I haven't heard from my family very much recently. So I guess I'm not sure.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, George, it's because you're so unhealthy, mate, and your life is just going down the tubes.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, I do have one brother who came to a meetup and actually brought the venison to the meetup. He's not carnivore himself, but he is a massive fan of the carnivore community. He's very heavily meat based, but he does still eat his roast potatoes, etc., etc. But he loves the carnivore community and brought the venison to the meetup where Louise brought the short rib beef, and will be coming to the Great British. Well, I think he will be, apart from the fact that he can't buy a ticket because he's not online because he's a dinosaur. But yeah, he's a so we do actually we do have that small phenomenon now of some people who have always been meat eaters but without being carnivore, who do like to come to meetups even though they are not carnivore themselves, but they will be carnivore for the day. They've got no problems with that, but they just love us as a community because we are so funny, so full of energy, and just so much fun to be around. Basically, it's,
I mean, basically, if my best friend didn't care that I ate meat, if she didn't give a toss, I mean, I know it's affecting her diet, right? But it wouldn't matter. But that's a whole conversation that I cannot have, you know, and it's just sad.
I mean, I've got a fantastic Irish friend called Sam, and he took us to the Longhorn Bar and Grill because he's a big meat eater. And both he and I had a kilogram T-bone steak. Wow. Huge amounts of money, but it was great fun. I finished mine. He didn't. Why? Because he also had the sides. He also had the French fries. So he actually wasted his meat. What he had to take, he didn't waste it. He took it home with him, but he couldn't finish it because he was, even though he's a big meat eater, he still got suckered into eating the potatoes and the onion rings and everything else. So there we go. Just a little story there.
Well, at least you took it home anyway.
We do have people out there who are attached to the carnivore community, who love us, who are great meat eaters themselves, but without going full carnivore. But they still come to meet us.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that you can't talk with, like Jenny was saying, she can't sort of handle being around a friend, but that was what the last few years was like too. Like even family members, you sort of, they all have they let their beliefs get in the way of relationships, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
well,
people they take it personally.
Yeah, well, I sort of haven't maybe lost forever two brothers, but we don't really talk that much because they got into the whole narrative, and I thought, my God, you two dudes are supposed to be intelligent, you know, come on.
Lainey's telling the truth. They don't like you anymore, George. I think that's about right. Oh, I've got a happy story, by the way. My local hotel, which has got a superb grill, ribeyes, sirloin, and rump and fillet, is where we are going to be hosting people at the Great British Meetup this year. I have known that family. That hotel has been in the same family since the 1st of April, 1963. So that gives you, it's been in the same family ever since. I've known them for 56 of my 60 years. So they know me. I'm very good friends with that family. And they have watched me go through the miracle. Just to remind you of the miracle. So they know exactly what carnivore is. Myself and Lainey eat there very regularly because it's only just up the road. And they are now carnivore trained, shall we say. And I am delighted to say that so far I have managed to book Coach Juliet and her husband in there for the meetup. I've managed to book Dr. Kiltz in there. And just today I went and booked Dr. Nelson Vasquez in there because he has finally succumbed to my bullying. Sorry, my persuasion. And has actually applied for his first ever passport to leave the United States of America. So and I think we're going to have various other people turn up on the Thursday night before the meetup. So we are going to have a table of maybe up to a dozen carnivores in that hotel on the Thursday evening. So it's going to be an interesting lesson for them because they're used to me having the steak only. They think I'm a bit of a crazy, but they're going to have a dozen crazies there that night. They've got to cater for. So it's going to be, I think, And basically, if I know anything about Dr. Kilt's, he will probably convert. He's spending 3 nights with us. And if I'm not much mistaken, he will convert half of my hometown to carnivore by the time he leaves, because he is that charismatic. So it's going to be good. It's going to be some fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I like Dr. Kilt's actually. I mean, apart from, I think he's just an interesting guy,
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky because obviously Dr. Kilt's is so busy and he's so popular that it's very rare that you get to spend some one-to-one time with him. But I actually picked him up from Heathrow and had to drop him back. So I had an hour and a quarter each way with him, just a one-to-one conversation. I wasn't sharing with anybody else. And I can tell you that what you see is what you get. And, obviously he has to tone down his language a bit on YouTube. But we had a real boys talk. It's great fun. He is just such a down-to-earth, father was in jail, he was in a gang, and that is the man that you get. But you can say what he likes him. We had a very frank conversation about the way things were going. He thanked me for my opinions. He said, George, why can't other people talk to me like you? And I said, well, because people are afraid of you, Doctor. You are Dr. Kilt's. He said, George, if I'm doing something wrong, I need to know. And he said, so thank you so much for telling me. And he went back and he put a couple of my suggestions into place, and it's great. So don't be afraid to talk to Dr. Kilt's, everybody, because he wants everybody to tell him what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a very good guy. Yeah, one of the best. So, well, it seems that the chat's slowed down a bit. So,
we've been on for 2 hours,
2.25 hours. So,
which is what we did last week, Dave. And I think we're finding that after 2 hours, it just begins to tail off.
It dwindles down a bit. Yeah. So it might leave it there.
Once again, we've had a very lively chat tonight. But what we have to remember is our American brothers and sisters are now getting into their evening. So I presume they've got to go and do some their evening meals, that sort of thing. It's now 10 to 2 in the morning here. So I've now got a 3-hour break, if you like, before I go on with Barbara. So I'm probably going to go and lie on my bed for 3 hours, and probably after finishing with Barbara as well. I'm sleeping in shifts tonight, basically.
Fair enough, mate. Well, thanks for joining us, George and Lainey. I really appreciate it. It's been a good chat, and we'll catch up again soon, eh?
Well, I hope you do. Maybe do something similar next week if you're still if
for sure.